Alright, welcome to another edition of the FantasyFix.com podcast. I'm your host, Brett Talley. We're here to talk daily fantasy strategy for July 7th, 2014. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at TheRealTal. Don't forget to sign up through the Fantasy Fix for Draft Street to get your 100% deposit bonus. Alright, let's make this quick because it's really late at night and I'm still working on this crap. So, quickly, weather, biggest rain concern is Cubs at Reds. I don't believe I'm in on either pitcher in that game. Edwin Jackson and who's pitching for the Reds tomorrow? Mike Leake. Jackson's sort of towards the high end of being a good play on my value list, but there's a few other value plays I like more, so no huge concern there with the weather. I don't believe the Reds or the Cubs, either one, were stacks. I considered both are below average offenses, so didn't end up looking at either one of them. Other weather, there's some concern. White Sox at Boston. We'll talk a little bit more about that game here in a minute, but not too concerned about the rain. And Pittsburgh at St. Louis, not too concerned about the rain. It could be really warm in Texas and Colorado, which are always good places to hit. So you're going to want to take a look at the teams there for hitters. All right, let's talk hitter stacks today. Teams I looked at, a couple teams I looked at, well, just one team in particular I looked at because of a potential hedge play. Scott Carroll is only $2,700 today, so in GPPs, I'm a big fan of using big-time value pitchers, but hedging with a separate lineup and having some hitters stacked against him. So with Carroll that cheap, I'm going to have to throw him in a lineup or two. I'll hedge with the Red Sox. Nava, Ortiz, Napoli are their three best hitters against right-handed pitching. They should be hitting 2, 4, 5, and then Pierzynski or Stephen Drew will be hitting 6, whoever that is. That's who I'd throw in to make it a 4-man stack. Alright, also took a look at the Indians. They're facing a righty. I forget, Shane Green, some guy for the Yankees I've never heard of. So took a look at the Indians, who are very good against right-handed pitching. Rockies at home. I ignored the Padres at home, even though it's Coors and they're facing Tyler Matzik, who isn't great. But the Padres' worst team in the league against left-handed pitching, 30% below league average. So I'm not even going to look at him in Coors. Maybe that's a mistake, but not looking at him. Also looking at the White Sox against Clay Buchholz, who I'm not a fan of. And the White Sox are better against righties and lefties, so took a look at them. Took a look at the Astros in Texas. Angels are facing a lefty. They're the best team in the league against lefties, so I had to take a look at them. A's facing a righty. They're very good against righties. Took a look at them. Rangers playing at home, taking a look at them. And Mariners against Kevin Correa. Run everything through the Draft Street scoring system based on the Steamer rest of season projections compared to cost. And it looks like if I like a value play today, I would look in that Rangers-Astros game. It's Jared Kozart pitching and Miles Mikolas pitching. Both the Rangers and Astros are better against lefties, and both those guys are righty, so it's not ideal. But I would be taking a look at one of those two teams for a value play. They're both around $23,000, $24,000. For the Rangers, it's hard to stack them. It's hard to line them up. I mean, I like their lefties plus Beltre, meaning Odor, Chu, Leonis Martin, and then Beltre, but that may be like 9-1-4-5 in their lineup, so that's not really a great stack. That's hard to do. Astros, Springer, Singleton, Castro, Carter, that could be 3, 4, 5, 6. That would make a little bit of sense. They're a little bit cheaper too, so maybe the Astros are the better value play. And the Astros are actually going to cost about $21,000. The Rangers are up around $24,000, so scratch all that. Like the Astros as a value play. Also, like the Red Sox as a value play. Mention that you're going to want to do them in tandem lineups. If you got a couple lineups going in GPP, Carroll in one, Red Sox in the other. If you're going to spend money today, I like the Rockies at home. They are facing Ian Kennedy, who's a pretty decent pitcher, but this year the Rockies have 4 guys who are at least 20% better than league average against right-handed pitching, and they should be hitting in the top 5 in that lineup in some order, and that's going to be Charlie Blackmon, Justin Morneau, Troy Tulowitzki, and Corey Dickerson, so I like them as an expensive play. So value play Astros, expensive play Rockies. Also, it would be hard for me to ignore the Indians against a righty, especially one I believe was making his first major league start. I've never heard of Shane Green before, taking Vidal Nuno's spot in the lineup after he was traded to Arizona. So I'd take a look at the Indians. That one's in Cleveland. That's also a much more favorable park for left-handed power hitters as opposed to right, so that works out with the lefties going against the righties there. I like Brantley, Santana, Kipnis, Chisenhall. That should be 3, 4, 5, 6. Pitchers. I mentioned value play. I like Scott Carroll at 2,700. Also could see Justin Masterson at just a little over 10,000. ERA's over 5, worries me, but Steamer and Zips both like him to bounce back. He does have the strikeouts. I think if I end up using Masterson, I'm probably going to do a hedge there too. I'll probably go with Gardner, Ellsbury, Teixeira, and McCann or something as a hedge on the Yankees, but Masterson a nice value. Could also see Marco Estrada. Pretty similar value to Masterson. He's a little bit more expensive, but maybe trust him a little more. Philly's really bad against righties, so there's your cheap plays of the day. Not a lot of mid-priced options I'm a huge fan of today. I'm probably going cheap or spending big and maybe pairing guys with Carroll or a closer. So the big guys I like today are Hamels and Strasburg. I prefer them to Wainwright, who's like $5,000 more expensive, and that's mainly why. Kennedy's and Coors, that's why I like him better than Kennedy. Shields has been struggling, although, man, his price is low. Below $12,000 against the Rays. That's really not a bad price, but I think I might like Shields a little bit, too, as a value play now that I kind of missed that a little bit. But spending big money, I like Hamels and Strasburg as opposed to Weaver, Iwakuma, Kennedy, Wainwright. Not that Weaver, Iwakuma, and Kennedy are all that expensive, but Hamels and Strasburg right around 19,000 are your big plays of the day. So good luck to everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast.